Good day. It is the 1st of October, and that's exciting for a number of different reasons. Well, two different reasons, three in fact. I count our growing year as from October to September, where many others count it in a different way. For me, it's from October to September. There's a lot of preparation that needs to be done for our spring sowings and plantings, but also in October we sort of start our growing year of harvests by planting out onion sets and garlic and broad beans and potentially peas as well. So for me, today is the start of our growing year, which, yay, that's great. Secondly, today is also the day that our tenancies renew for our allotment site. And for the first time in a long time, these two plots, 6 and 6A, are being recombined onto a single plot. So that's a full plot called plot 6. We've got other split plots on site. We have plots from a third to a quarter to a half and to full size plots. On our site, you're not allowed more than one full size plot per household. So there is that restriction, if you like. But having various size plots is really good because it means that people with different abilities and different skill sets, if you like, can grow. And that's great. And of course, we have an awful lot of tenants who come over from the community gardens here because they've proven that they can grow on their 3 metre by 3 metre plot at the community gardens, which is great. The other thing is, I'm going to do the October tour today. I'm down here at the moment because we have a person doing an ecology survey here. So it's a biodiversity survey, and she is doing that actually for the borough of Ealing, but we're going to get a copy as well, which will hopefully help us going forward in increasing the biodiversity on our site. Though I have told the lady doing it that we've seen hedgehogs, we've seen grass snakes, stag beetles. There's also sort of swifts and swallows and starlings as well, and bats. So we have quite a lot here already, and foxes, of course. And she said, well, that's really good because there's sort of some action plans that can be done around different wildlife or biodiversity. So hopefully we'll be able to increase that biodiversity in coming years. Anyway, I'm going to finish here and let's have a look at the plot and our October tour. The sun's coming out. So yeah, I'm glad I finished that slot. Here we are at the corner of the plot. This area is obviously going to see some changes over the winter, with this being made into a below ground pond, and the barrow there, or is it not a barrow? What is it? Barrel being made into an above ground pond. But what I did want to just show you is, look at these. They've obviously gone over and dried and are now going to be the home for various insects over the winter months, which is great. That bamboo has enjoyed getting a bit more rain. It's really sort of going for it now. I need to keep that in some shape though, because I don't want branches to come right out like this. I do want them to go up. Our composting area is fine. Everything is composting down really well. We've still got, I've just seen, look, there's still some rosebuds coming on this white rose, which is lovely. And there's also dead wood, which will need to come out. That will happen over the winter. And then let me just take you over here to what was our tomato growing area, which has become very overrun with grass. This is another area that will be completely dug, getting all of the weeds out from here over the coming winter months. But the tomatoes this year have been great. We've still got tomatoes on the top plot, which you'll see in a few minutes as we walk around. But we're still picking from here, though, yeah, next week I think is going to be tidying this area. And a lot of these stinging nettles will be going to make some stinging nettle tea with the comfrey, which is now in the middle of shot there. Right, walking back around. Our cosmos that I thought was going to be blind has just decided to start forming flowers. Look at that, that's fantastic. This one has been going for ages. In fact, there's two there, but these two this side just, I thought they were going to be blind, but no, they're forming flowers. Let's hope we get flowers before we get a frost. And here's a squash climbing through, which is quite cute. Moving on to this area, this is where we have Uchiki Curry squash and also Cheeky Prince. I'm leaving them in. There are a few forming. I can just move a bee. You can see in the middle there, there's one which is colouring up. And can you see that one in the middle there? There's one there as well. Been a bad year for us for squash though. Great for courgettes, bad for squash. When these come out, there are already perpetual spinach plants in there. So that big leaf is perpetual spinach. So hopefully they will really take hold as we go into winter. More perpetual spinach and chard along this area. And then at the back, that dark green is celeriac. And some of those are bulbing up nicely. What we are doing now is removing the celeriac leaves and using those as celery in soups and stews, and they really give a fantastic flavour. Then moving over, we've got Brussels sprouts in there. Hopefully you can see some Brussels sprouts forming on the stems. All of our Brussels sprouts are doing okay. This is Portuguese cabbage. Then moving along, we have a whole variety. We've got Cavallo Nero in there. More Cavallo Nero here. We harvested another broccoli from here the other day, which was great. There's another little floret of broccoli coming there. Or calabrese, as it is correctly known. So yeah, we've got some good harvests of winter greens to come in this bed. Right, moving on to this bed. Last month with the tour, this had beans in it and bean canes, which have all been removed. This is going to be 2 beds for our allium. So we're going to have 3 varieties of garlic and our Shakespeare onions in here. We had some brambles, which I have removed. But as I did that, I noticed quite a lot of perennial weeds underneath the cardboard. So yesterday I decided to weed those out, and as I did that I realized it was going to become a bit of a bigger job, because I think I want to take out what is here, the compost that is here, bag it up into a 1-ton bag, put further cardboard down at the base of this bed to suppress weeds again for a second year, and then put the compost back on top, and then put our garlic in. So I'm thinking about that. These two beds, the sun's coming out, so excuse my shadow. Oh, yeah, wherever I go, it's going to be. These two beds were particularly, the weeds underneath them were still quite strong. And I'm wondering if it's because they only had beans in them, and therefore the weeds were really able to get hold, where in other areas weeds are less of a problem, like in this area with beetroot. But I guess time will tell. The beetroot, we have 4 varieties of beetroot here, and they're doing well and bulbing up. Fortunately, not bulbing up all at the same time, which is great. Then, actually, if I, can you see there's a bulb in the middle there. We're harvesting quite a few, and obviously others are still growing. And then when it comes to turnips, so if I actually, can you see those? Or maybe there we are. You can see those turnips are shaping up nicely too. This is parsnips, and they're all beginning to really show their shoulders now, which is great. And then at the end, this is a carrot bed, which is now empty because we've harvested most of the carrots that we're going to harvest from here. And I'm going to be transplanting some lettuce into this area under a coal frame that I found, which, if you're following A Week at the Plot, you'll have seen me talk about a couple of weeks ago. This gorgeous red amaranth is now going over. You can see the seed is beginning to dry. I will actually be taking that out because I don't want too much seed to fall into this bed for next year. There's a bit you can see just torn off here. Right, still got some tomatoes on there and also bindweed, but I'm not going to worry about that. They will all be taken out next week, the remaining tomatoes, and then I will be preparing this area over the coming months, as I said a minute ago. Our plants bench is fine. There's quite a lot of things growing there, and I'll most probably take you through that another day. Our herb bed, oregano at the front, and then we have parsley and thyme. Our sword bean is still sort of holding in there, but what I'm going to do is try and overwinter it in that place. So I'm going to be placing some straw over it to try and keep it a little bit warmer than it might be otherwise. Now I've got to show you these two. This is our fantastic pumpkin harvest for the year. Don't think that's going to keep us going very long. Hey ho. And then the sedums, as you can see, are all changing colour. Lovely. Oh, that one's popped over. Put him straight. Right. These sunflowers, Jacqueline sunflowers, have been so cute. Look, they're just tiny, but gorgeous. Dancing in the wind. Blueberries are beginning to change leaf colour now. They will be going quite red. It's interesting that Vivi's have gone red earlier than ours. These are the stones I took out of the garlic and onion bed yesterday, and these are all the weed roots I took out of that bed. So you can see why it did need to be forked and weeded. Right, our flower bed, our flower border bed as I call it, has still got some flowers growing, which is lovely. Cosmos, California daisy. There's that mauvey pink cosmos there, which is lovely. And as long as we don't get too much of a hard frost, I think this will carry on for a few weeks, maybe even a month yet. Well, maybe a few weeks. We'll see. But clearly what this has shown me is that we lose flowers around July and August, and then they begin to come back in September. So I'm thinking about that for next year, what we can put in. Another area that we're going to be sorting this year, or this winter rather, is the soft fruit area. All of these are in tubs, as you can see at the moment, though they will all be going into the ground. Where there's quite a lot of weed, like in that one and this one, one of those came from the weedy area of our plot from last year, and one was given to us by a friend. I'm going to take those right back to bare root and compost the compost that is in there, because I don't want to put weeds into the ground when I am planting those into the ground. And if I just plant that pot, take it out of the pot and plant it into the ground, those weeds will just take over the whole bed. Wild chicory, look at that lovely blue flower. Some feverfew here, and still the cheeky prince squash that Kelly gave us. I've left that in, though I don't think it's going to do anything. Well, I really don't think it's going to do anything before frosts come. But you know what? The flowers are good for bees and other insects, so I'm leaving them in. The darker matter on top here is all compost that I've taken out of our hot bin composter a few days ago. If you watch A Week at the Plot, you'll be seeing that next Monday when it gets uploaded. And then maybe it's good to show the brassica bed from this angle. You can see there's another whole mix of different brassicas in there, from smaller Brussels sprouts to 1,000-head kale and further Portuguese cabbage. There's our wildlife camera. Nothing particularly exciting caught on there yet. Our 2 washing up bowl ponds, which has got quite a bit of life in them, which is lovely, including a frog now. Let's go around this way first. This is where our other squash, our cheeky prince, our own cheeky prince seeds were. So the plants didn't do anything. You've seen 2 of the fruits by the shed, but yeah, nothing really. Hey ho, next year. The sunflowers are still trying their best and doing really well as well. So I've been deadheading these, and as I deadhead, more have grown, which is super. In fact, let me come this way. This is where we have our courgettes. I harvested some more courgettes the other day, and as you can see, in there. There's a small one forming. If we come over there, you can see another yellow one forming there. So they're still forming. Fingers crossed. Moving to here, this is where we did a late sowing of carrots into this area, and some of them are coming up. We also put in parsley plugs that we grew ourselves, and these lettuce which self-seeded. They are just looking fine, they really are. And then this is fennel, Florence fennel, doing well. I mean, there's going to be flavour in there. I'm not quite sure if I get in. Can you see? Let's look down there. I'm not sure they're going to bulb up. These were sown in modules and transplanted. But you know what? There's a whole lot of flavour in there, even if we don't get a fennel bulb. So lots again for soups and stews. Lots of flavour. This is our wildflower bed. There was some cosmos in there. This is going to be mainly a calendula bed next year from seeds that the lovely Vivi is giving us. So that will be gorgeous. A lot of tidying up to do. But you know what? It's winter. Well, it's not. It's autumn. But all this tidying is autumn and winter jobs. So that's fine. We've got some Cara potatoes in here. These are our last lot of potatoes to harvest. And as you can see, that green is Nigella. So I will be transplanting those. A further Portuguese cabbage bed. You know how we like our Portuguese cabbage. And the leaves are just glorious. Look at that. And then tomatoes. These went in later and have done well. These are our Amish paste. Those are the ones that I'm going to be saving seed from because they've done particularly well. And then these are the Cherokee yellow that Gabriella sent us. And they're supposed to have sort of like red markings, and some red markings are beginning to show now. So, yeah, I'll be saving seed from these too. I've decided this is going to be the yellow tomato we grow next year, simply because it's so pretty. Right, cuttings bench. Thornless blackberry doing fine. I did actually, I'm not sure if it was on this one. No, it wasn't. There is one where the root is coming out the bottom now. And as I think you know, these are our roses and you can see the roots coming through the bottom there. What I think I will be doing in the coming weeks is potting these all up individually. I thought we'd I thought we'd have about 2 or 3. And as you can see, virtually every one has rooted, which is fab. These are our elephant garlic corms that went in. Nothing from there yet. And then more rosemary and buddleia plants from cuttings we did last year. Right. Still a few beetroot there and beetroot leaves being harvested for salads. Then we go into calendula. Then lettuce that we put in, which those two are going to seed. I have to say this oak leaf lettuce here is something that I really adore. Great flavour. Great colour. Right, Let's just pop into the polytunnel. So things in here are doing pretty well. We do have some French beans flowering. Whether they will form beans at this late stage, I don't know. That's a Northern Queen lettuce. And then that one there is Marvel of Four Seasons. And they are all growing really well. And we are harvesting from them, which is great. Then moving over, we then get into chicory. So this is a chicory, which we're not harvesting yet. And all of those over there are chicory. And then there is one Mizuna, that frilly leaf one in the middle. Further, parsley indoor in the polytunnel. Well, you know that because we're in here. And then rocket, which has gone to flower. I still haven't taken out those weeds yet, but I will do that today. And then in here we have coriander growing. And I really do think it prefers the cooler weather. I've been taking a few leaves. It's just getting close. I've been taking a few leaves for salads, which has been rather nice. So yeah, things in here are doing okay. And that's, what I didn't say, sorry, swinging back, is in here I put the wild garlic that we received from Pennard Plants a few weeks ago. They have gone in there. So that's it. I'll just leave you with this. Look at that. A sedum in glorious redness. Absolutely delightful. Right, we will leave it there. Quite a short one this month because there's sort of less going on, but still a lot going on. Let me go back that way, then you don't go into the sun. Yeah, still a lot of work. Well, still a lot of harvests to have, and then autumn and winter jobs to do. And that's fine with me. Look at that sky, it's getting quite grey. But that's fine too. I've just noticed the rose. Can you see the rose? Let's just go round there. Sorry about that. Let's just go and have a look. Gosh, this is next door's plot. The side of our plot here. Look. Lovely. Gosh. I'm not sure if that's in focus, but it is glorious. Lovely. Back of our shed. And then back around to the front of the shed. It's glorious just sitting here, thinking about the things that need to be done, going and pottering and doing some of the things, and then coming back and having a cup of tea, which I'm going to do now, whilst waiting for the ecology lady to do her biodiversity survey. See you very soon. Bye.